Hello my dear CA fan students, how are you guys? Dear friends, in this video we are going to talk about those students who have opted for paper 6C International Taxation as their optional paper in CA Final. Dear friends, as you know that the syllabus of your paper 7 DT as well as the syllabus of your paper 6C are more or less the same. The only thing which is in addition in your paper 6C is the coverage of a detailed coverage of all the model tax convention articles of OECD as well as UN. So ICI has covered most of the DTAA articles in your paper 6C and has given huge details about those articles also. So you have to spend a lot amount of time in studying in the proper study of those articles. Okay, in this video we are going to talk about what are the 5 most important DTAA articles that you must consider for your exams and what are the important areas of those articles that you should give your priority focus. Okay, so what are the 5 most important DTAA articles? So sir, the very first article is your article 4 residence. Dear friends, as you know that the benefits of the DTAA can be claimed by the person who is the resident of either of the contracting state. So let's say say for example, if we talk about India UK DTAA, so a person can claim the benefit of India UK DTAA only if he is a resident of India or UK, means he should be the resident of any of these two. So let's say if Mr. A says that he is a resident of India and wants to claim the benefit of DTAA. So whether Mr. A is a resident of India or not, we will check it by applying the provisions of Indian Income Tax Act, means section 6 of Indian Income Tax Act 1960. Okay. So how to identify whether a person is a resident or not is not the concern area of the DTAA, because that would be done as per the domestic tax law of those countries. But what are the important areas of your article 4 residence? Sir, the very first thing is tiebreaker rule in case of individual. This is a very important area, means I can say that most important area of your article 4 residence. That let's say that if for example, let's say Mr. A is said to be the resident of both India as well as UK for let's say previous year 22-23, then how then to which state that we can say that Mr. A is actually a resident for tax purposes, that then we have to apply the tiebreaker rule as per article 4, means residence of India UK DTAA. I hope you guys are. Another very important article, that is article 5 permanent establishment. Dear friends, as you know that the business profit of a NR entity in India can be taxed in India only if such NR entity has a permanent establishment in India. So let's say if India wants to tax the business income of let's say Apple Inc., then it can be taxed in India only if Apple Inc. has a P in India. If say Apple do not have a P in India, then Indian tax authorities cannot tax the business profit of Apple Inc. Okay. So article 7 of the OECD and UN model says that the business profit of an NR can be taxed in the source country only if such NR has a P in the source country, in the source state, and such profits are attributable to that P. Okay, so what are the important points that you must cover in your article 5P? Okay, I can say that you should cover each and every aspect of article 5 because it is very important article. But still, what are the important areas that you should give the priority focus? The very first thing is what constitutes a P. Another thing is what would not constitute P. Sir, we have seen what constitutes a P, but it is equally important to be aware about that what would not constitute P, because if let's say the activities of an NR do not constitute a P, because you know that there are various exceptions are given in your article 5 which states that means doing these activities would not constitute the P of an NR entity in India. So you should be equally aware about what do not constitute a P. Okay, another thing is what amounts to preparatory and auxiliary activities, because dear friends, you know it means very well, if an NR entity is engaged in only the preparatory and auxiliary nature activities, it would not amount to the P of that NR entity in India. So we should be aware about that what amounts to the preparatory and auxiliary activities in nature. Okay, another important area is a liaison office in India and the constitution of P. Dear friends, if an NR entity has a liaison office in India and that liaison office is not engaged in any trading activity, etc., then that liaison office can be considered as a P of that NR in India, and accordingly means liaison office cannot be constituted as an P of the NR entity in India, thus no business profit can be taxed. Okay, finally, very important, agency P. Moving ahead, Article 7, business profit. So here as we have seen that as per Article 7, the business profit of an NR can be taxed in the source state only if that NR has a P in the source state. So what are the important areas that we must be aware about Article 7, business profit? When the business profit of an NR entity can be taxed in the source country. Sir, you have already said when that NR entity has a P in India and the profits are attributable to that P. Okay, but dear, another very important area or another very important aspect that you should be aware about in Article 7 is the force of attraction rule. Force of attraction rule, how the business profit is going to be computed as per Article 7, business profit. Moving ahead, Article 12, royalty. Again, very important article, very important article. And after the case of engineering analysis Center of Excellence Private Limited versus CIT, this article became very important. Okay, so what are the important areas that you should be concerned about? Combined analysis of section 916, which deals with royalty as per the Indian Income Tax Act, and Article 12. So what is the treatment of royalty as per Article 12 and how the royalty is being considered as per the section 916 of the Income Tax Act. Okay, how such royalty income will be taxed in India? This is again very important. Dear friends, if the royalty income is covered, let's say if the royalty income is covered by Article 12, it is tax on gross basis. It is tax on gross basis. But let's say if there is no DTAA, or say if that royalty income is not being covered by the DTAA, then the royalty income will be taxed. Then the royalty income will be taxed as per the Indian Income Tax Act provisions. Okay, and there are two sections in Indian Income Tax Act which provides the tax treatment of royalty income as well as income of FT, as you may know. And what are these two sections? Sir, one is section 115A, which talks about the gross basis at the rate of 10%, and another is section 44DA, which says that the royalty income will be taxed as a normal business income of the city, and you would be allowed all available deductions. Okay, so you have to see that how our royalty income is going to be taxed, whether it is going to be taxed as per the provisions of section 115A or whether it is going to be taxed as per 44DA. And how can we forget case law of engineering analysis Center of Excellence Private Limited? Dear friends, Institute can draft very good questions using that case, using this particular case law. So you should be aware about this case law. And yeah, if you want to get the details of this case law, we have already uploaded the case law analysis video. So you will find the detailed analysis of this particular case law in that video. So do watch that video. Also, moving to the last article, which is very important for your exam point of view, is Article 13, cap gain, capital gain. Sir, Article 13, what are the important parts? Combined analysis of the provisions of Indian Income Tax Act and Article 13 on the taxation of cap gain of NR. Dear friends, in most of the cases, the capital gain is being computed as per the domestic tax law provisions, but you should be aware about that what are the provisions provided in Article 13, and very important is a limitation of benefit clause which is being provided in India Singapore DTAA, because again very good questions can be drafted from here, that what is the role of the limitation of benefit clause or what is the principal purpose test, etc. So these are the 5 very important articles that you guys must do for your paper 60 exam.